So this morning I want to do an experiment to do with transforming. But first of all, we're going to do a little bit of whistle-stop background from the Bible. So what we're thinking about today is a prophecy from Joel. That's another prophet that God spoke through. And this is what Joel says. Well, this is what Joel says that God says. I will pour out my spirit on all people, and everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. That's a promise God gave back in the Old Testament, that one day he would pour his spirit out on everybody, and everybody who calls on him will be saved. Now we're going to whiz forward about, I don't know, is it 400 years? I don't know, to when Jesus said the same promise. So I'm going to look in John, and this is before Jesus dies. He tells his disciples he's going to die, but they don't really understand. Then he says that he will have to leave them and go back to heaven, and they don't understand. But he says that when he goes, the Holy Spirit will come. He says, I will ask the Father, and he will give you another counselor or helper or encourager to be with you forever. And it's at Pentecost, which we're going to find out more about next week, because next Sunday is Pentecost Sunday, that the Holy Spirit arrives and falls onto the disciples, pours out on them and totally transforms them. All of them were filled with the Holy Spirit. And the biggest transformation was Peter. Do you remember Peter was so scared that when Jesus was arrested, he lied about knowing Jesus because he was frightened. And then Jesus, after his resurrection, appears to Peter and forgives him and restores him. And here, lots of people are making fun of them. And it says, then Peter stood up, raised his voice and addressed the crowd. Let me explain this to you. Listen carefully to what I say. Wow, that courage and that boldness and that desire to carry out God's work has come from being filled with the Holy Spirit. Okay, let us do our experiment. So you will need some small cups or egg cups. I've chosen these because they're see-through, so I hope you might see what's going on better. You need some bicarbonate of soda, and you need some vinegar. There we go, there's my vinegar. You see it? There. Now, you'll need a teaspoon. You might want something to mix your vinegar in, and as always, the trusty kitchen roll for when we have spillages. Hopefully that won't happen today. All right, so I can't quite see the instructions from here. I think is it half a teaspoon or 1 teaspoon? I can't see. Oh well. Should we do 1 teaspoon? The more the merrier. Okay, let's do 1 and see what happens. Now, as usual, I haven't tried this at home first because I actually think it's much more exciting when nobody knows what's going to happen. Oh, do it on a tray because hopefully, well, actually, I won't tell you what's going to happen. You can guess. But a tray might be a good idea. Okay, so here's my vinegar. Let's give it a sniff. Oh, makes me think of fish and chips though. I haven't had fish and chips for ages. I just suddenly wondered, I've had this for ages. I wonder when the use by date is. Well, we'll look at that now. Right, I'm going to pour some vinegar into here. It says a couple of centimetres. So let's be generous. Now, I'm going to add some food colouring. And since my bubble picture didn't go as green as I wanted, I'm having a green day today, I'm going to add green food colouring. Now this is not essential, it's just to make it fun. Ooh, that's quite a lot of green food colouring. As you can tell, I wasn't very good at chemistry. And I'm not very good at baking cakes either, because you need to be quite exact. I like to just sort of, you know, Jamie Oliver, dash of this, glob of that, blob of this. Right, okay, now, what do you think will happen when I pour the vinegar, which is very acid, onto the bicarbonate of soda, which is possibly alkaline? Don't know, guess there. Shall we see? Hopefully something will happen. It'll be really embarrassing if nothing happens. Okay, so I'm wondering whether I can get this a bit nearer for you to see. Let's have a look, can you see? Yes! Whoa! It overflows! That is so exciting. Okay, I'm going to do another one, but this time I'm going to bring the camera closer and do a different colour. So hold on and I'll bring you closer. Okay, so I'm going to do this one as a close-up. So I'm going to put my, can't remember if it was 1 or 2 teaspoons of bicarb of soda in. And then this time I have dyed my vinegar pink. So let's have a look at this one. You ready? Let's move the spoon out of the way. Yes, another volcanic explosion. Whoop, whoop. And in my great excitement, I found another glass jar in the cupboard. So let's go for it. Colour number 3. In fact, I'm just going to move these out of the way so you can see it. Gosh, I'm starting to stink of vinegar now. Are you ready? Yes! Wonderful. So, what does this tell us, other than I like making a mess? This shows us how things can be totally transformed. The bicarbonate of soda was transformed from a powder by adding something else into a bubbling over, fizzing, excited explosion. And that's a little picture of what happens to us when the Holy Spirit is at work in our hearts. We've thought about the Holy Spirit helping us to grow fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness and self-control. And gifts, we have gifts from the Holy Spirit, which could be all sorts of different unique abilities. And at Pentecost, we see the difference that the Holy Spirit made, not just in Peter and the other disciples' life, but the Holy Spirit will make in our lives too. I bet you can think of times where you've had something difficult to do and you've asked God to help you, and you've had the ability or the courage or the opportunity to do it. It's really worth asking other Christians that you know to tell them, for them to tell you some of their experiences. Right, I better clear this up and get rid of this smell of vinegar. See you soon. Bye.